You're listening to Ideal Practice, episode number 23. You know, sometimes it's not about getting more clients at all. Sometimes your practice might be drowning in referrals and you have more calls for help than you have any idea how to handle. You and I both know that's a perfect setup for burnout. And I know you feel terrible when it gets that way. And y'all, over the past couple of years, especially during the pandemic, it has been that way a lot. I know this because I hear from you about it. But y'all, I've got good news. There are actually all kinds of things you can do in your practice right now to manage that overload, feel better about it, and take care of people at the same time. That's what we're talking about today. So stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendy Reeves, and with over 2 decades of experience in the private practice world, I've built my 6-figure business while learning a lot of lessons the hard way. This is the first podcast that shows you how to apply the principles of energy, alignment, and strategy to build a practice that is profit-centered, but people-forward. This is the Ideal Practice Podcast. Hey, everybody, and welcome back. This is Wendy. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Ideal Practice Podcast. When I finish this podcast, I get to go do something kind of fun. Tonight, we're going to head over to a new office that I'm setting up. After being completely virtual for 2.5 years, I have recently made the decision to go back to a hybrid practice where I will be seeing a few people in person, but I will also have an online option as well. And that has given me the excuse to find a new place, which is kind of fun. And for the first time in a very long time, I've been buying new office furniture and picking out paint colors, and I'm going to go hang some curtains. It's been actually kind of fun. I haven't done that in a really, really long time. Where are you? What are you up to? What's new in your neck of the woods? Well, whatever it is, I hope as you are doing whatever kind of cool, fun stuff you're up to tonight, or today, I hope you're taking me with you and that you are tuned in and subscribed to Ideal Practice. If you're not and you want to be, the easiest way to do that is go to followthepodcast.com. followthepodcast.com/ideal practice. You'll see all kinds of ways to connect right there. And when you're tuned in and you're subscribed, you're never going to miss any of the things that I'm bringing to you, which I think is a good thing. So I really want to dive into something kind of critical tonight, because I say tonight because I'm recording this in the late afternoon at the end of the day. On today's episode, I really want to talk about something that I have seen happening a lot lately, and I think it's a problem, and I want to teach you how to handle it. So often here on the podcast and in any podcast where we're talking about building a business, we talk about how to attract clients, how to bring in new clients, how to grow the business. But sometimes you and I both know that's not the problem at all. Sometimes the problem is you have more business than you know how to keep up with. And over the past couple of years, especially during the pandemic and beyond, as things are beginning to ease up a little bit, healthcare providers in general and mental health providers especially have been just totally overwhelmed with clients. Over the past couple of months, I've spoken to providers who are seeing 30, 35, 40, even 45 people a week, which is kind of insane, y'all. And what I know is that a lot of you are struggling with overwhelm. And I know that when your phone is ringing off the hook and you've got literally several referrals a week, sometimes several a day, a lot of you end up feeling really, really guilty. And you end up seeing way too many people because I know you hurt for those who are hurting, and it's hard to say no. So I also know, and I don't know if this counts as a dirty little secret in our profession or not, but it's real and I want to call it out. It's really common that a lot of you, when you're overwhelmed, you just don't return calls at all, right? I'm not saying that out of judgment. I just want to sort of name the elephant in the room. Either you say yes to too many or you avoid them completely. Neither one of those is good for your clients, honestly, and it's not good for you either. What about if instead of setting yourself up for burnout by seeing way too many people or hiding your phone in the backyard, how about we shift a few things in your practice so that things work better? Because y'all, I know this has been a big deal during the pandemic, but the truth is when you are successful and you're good at what you do, you are going to have more referrals. When word gets out about you and your practice, there are going to be days when you're like, what do I do with them all? When I was running a group practice, there were times when it would take me an hour or two just to return all the calls that came in at the end of the day because I was filtering calls for the whole practice at that point. Not always, but a lot. So this actually is a skill you need to learn. This is part of running a healthy practice. It's something you have to know how to do. What do you do when you have too much business? When you get too many calls? When too many people are wanting to come in the door and it's happening too fast? What do you do? Well, I'm going to tell you what to do because I do that. I actually, as I was thinking about it, I have come up with 7 very specific strategies that you can employ right away to start getting a handle on an overwhelming number of referrals. Some of them are easier than others. All of them are quite doable. All of them are things that I have done in my own practice when referrals were driving me a little bit crazy. All right, so let's walk through those 7 strategies and see which one of these you want to use or which 5 or 6 of them you want to use. The first thing you always want to do when you've got way too many clients or way too many calls is take some time to revisit and get really clear about who your ideal client really is. You're good at what you do. You've been at this for a while. You have a ton of training and experience. The truth is you can help a lot of folks. But if you're trying to help everybody, you're not helping anybody. And y'all, it's good to be picky. You will do better work. You'll like your work better and your clients will like it better too when you are a little picky, otherwise known as selective or strategic, about who you want to work with. Right now, as I record this, I am coaching a therapist who has been in practice for a long time and is doing very well, but is a little tired of the routine types of work she's been doing. And I have really been encouraging her to give herself permission to think, who do you really want to work with? What kinds of folks? What kind of situations? And she feels a little guilty about it, but she's also getting a little excited because figuring out who you really want to serve is important. It's one of the first steps to clarifying and cleaning up all of these referrals that you're getting. So strategy number one, get super clear about who your ideal client is. And it's probably changed from who it was when you first got started, or even who it was 2 or 3 years ago. All right? Do that first. The second thing I want you to do, the second strategy, and I'm going somewhere with this, is to get real about your skills. What are you really good at? What do you love to do? When you've got a perfect client in front of you, somebody that you would talk to all day long just for the sheer fun of it, how do you like to work with that person? What do you know works for them that other people may not get? Or what is there something that you bring to the table? And we've already talked about this a fair amount here on the program, but what are your skills especially well suited to do? I love working with these kinds of folks on these kinds of problems in this kind of way. So if one of your favorite things to do is go hiking and you like to get clients outdoors for a walk in the park or for some kind of experiential work, okay, get real about that. That's what you want to do. Clear about who you want to serve, clear about how you want to help. And if that's a little tricky, if you find yourself thinking, I don't know, I kind of like them all. Really? Is that true? As a mom, we're supposed to all love all of our kids the same way. I do. I love all my kids the same way. But we don't always like them all the same, right? They're not always easier to be with exactly the same way, right? Well, here's the third strategy, and this is all part and parcel of the same thing. I want you to admit what you don't like too, what you're not so good at, or what you just don't really enjoy so much. What kinds of situations or what kind of folks you're just not that much fun. You just don't love it. Now, yes, one kind of a little caveat here. I do want you to be careful and watch the ethics of your profession. Depending upon, well, I think surely this is true for everybody. In social work, certainly it is unethical to choose not to work with someone just because I don't share their views on a certain topic. That's kind of different. That's not what I'm talking about. But you may not love working with couples. You may prefer individuals. You may not really like working with teenagers so much, but you might love the preteen group, the 10, 11, 12-year-olds. You might not want to work with kids at all. It doesn't matter. What's fun for you? What lights you up? What do you enjoy? And what do you not like? If all you do is look at your calendar and look at the cases where you see them on your caseload and you're like, oh gosh, I got to see that person today. That's kind of a clue. And y'all, it doesn't make you a bad person because you enjoy working with some folks more than others. It just makes you human. And honestly, you are going to be a better provider, a better healer by giving yourself permission to work with the folks that you are good at working with because you enjoy it. Okay? So those three things, those first three strategies, first three steps, do that first. Who do I really love working with? What am I good at? What kind of work do I want to do? And what do I not want to do either? If you take the time to figure those things out, you are now clear in a way that perhaps you weren't a few weeks ago or a month ago. And what that's going to do is it's going to help you to sort those referrals as they come in. So when a referral comes in that doesn't fit into this category of what you have just figured out, you don't want to see them, okay? And I know that's a sticking point. I know that like, oh, but Wendy, what do I do? Don't worry. Don't get ahead of me here. Don't get ahead of me. I'm going to tell you what to do. But you got to know who you want to serve first. And you got to know who you don't want to serve. Okay. So, all right, I've got that. All right, Wendy, it's hard to admit, but the truth is I really, really love working with the grumpy, roll your eyes kind of teenagers. If you want to know the truth, those who just sit and say, yes, ma'am, and no, sir, I don't really love those so much. But those kids who are a royal pain in the butt for everybody else, I love those kids. I wouldn't mind seeing more of those. Okay, cool. And if you want to know the truth, Wendy, even though I tell people I work with kids in general, I don't really want to work with little ones anymore because I don't love playing checkers and sitting on the floor is getting a little bit harder. Okay, cool. Fine. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. You know what you like. You know what you don't like. You know what you're good at. You know what you're not good at. Perfect. Now let's move on. The fourth strategy is to focus on service. But I want you to do this in a different way than the way you guys are thinking about. Your way of focusing on service is trying to find a way to see everybody no matter what, even if it's at 8 o'clock at night or it's on Sunday afternoon or it's at the end of a 10-hour day. Your definition of service means you have to serve everyone no matter what. My sweet, sweet, awesome friend, please stop thinking that way. Serving your referrals and your clients, whether you take them on or not, means helping them find what they need. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to make a list of the people in your town or in your network that you trust, that you know are good at what they do, who are taking new people. I want you to make a list of those folks. Make a list of the people you can refer people to. I stopped doing couples work a long time ago. I used to do a lot of couples work, but the day came when I kind of got real with myself and thought, this is not my expertise. This is not what I love the most. And there are other people I know out there who not only are good at this, but they actually enjoy it. And once I gave myself permission to say no, which feels wrong as a social worker, but once I gave myself permission to do that, it got so much easier when I got those referrals to say, you know what, I would love to work with you and I'm sure it would be fine and I could help you. But the truth is, I know other people who are better at this than me. Let me tell you about them. And I gave them not just one name, but 2 or 3 names. Almost always 2 or 3 names. Almost always. So they have a choice. And so if the first one doesn't work out, they got somebody else to go to. So strategy number 4 is develop your own referral network where you know where to send the people who are no longer a good fit for you. That's taking care of them, okay? And it goes without saying, I don't have this on my list, but I'm going to add it real quick. This means you return all those phone calls. It means you return all those phone calls. Now, this is a little bit of a sidebar here, but I'm just going to step into this for just a second. One way to cut down on getting too many phone calls is to make sure your online profiles define who you serve and who you don't. Make sure your website is clear. Make sure your social media profiles are clear. If you use a tool like Psychology Today, make sure your profile is clear about who you best serve and who you don't. All right. That will help cut down on some of those calls. Not always, because some people don't read any of that, but it will help. But the bottom line is you do need to return calls. I personally feel like that's the ethical thing to do. I feel like that is service. It doesn't mean you have to take them on to it as a client, though. It just means you're going to help them, and they will love you for that. They will appreciate you for that because they've called 10 other people who have not called them back. All right, focus on service. Call them back. Help them. Give them some names and send them on their way with love and respect and clarity. All right, strategy number 5. This will help you a lot in terms of your overwhelming schedule. Use a scheduling tool, y'all. Bite the bullet, choose a tool, and start using an online scheduler. If you use something like Simple Practice or Therapy Notes, a lot of those kinds of systems have a scheduling tool built in. If you don't, you can use a third-party app such as Acuity Scheduling or Calendly or Schedule Once. There's a million of them out there. Find one that you like and set it up and put a link for scheduling on your website. Make it easy for clients or even potential clients to know how to schedule without having to talk to you. And here's why this is important. The obvious reason, and I'm emphasizing this a little bit because I get a lot of pushback with my coaching clients when I try to get them to do this. People tell me all the time, I don't want just anybody scheduling, Wendy. I want to talk to them first. Okay, if you got time to return all those calls. But remember, we're talking about what to do when you're drowning in referrals or just drowning in clients, too many clients, too much time, too many folks wanting a spot. If you have an online link on your website where people can go and get on your calendar, what that does is it gets you out of those calls so you don't have to call them back. On just a bottom line, nuts and bolts, that frees up some time for you. That's 10 less phone calls you got to make a day or a week. But here's the extra benefit that having an online scheduler does for you. It gets you out of the conversation. So you won't have the emotional impact of saying no to somebody. And it will help you stick to your time boundaries. You don't have to say, no, I can't see you after 5 or after 7, whatever your limit is. You don't have to struggle with that guilt inside when they say, are you sure? Because, I could take a lunch hour, but I don't really want to do that. Is there any way you could see me at 6 o'clock just this one time? And you're like, okay, yeah, sure. You don't have to have that conversation with them, and you don't have to have that conversation in your head because you set your boundaries up ahead of time online inside the scheduler. And when they go to schedule, the slots you have open is what shows up. They're not even going to ask what else you have because they can see your calendar. They see that you don't have it. I'm telling you, this will save your sanity. It will save your sanity. Use an online scheduling tool. Set your boundaries there. Have a link on your website that people can go to right then. Strategy number 6. The last 2 take a little bit more. The ones I've talked about so far are not so hard. Strategy number 6, y'all, if you are drowning in referrals and you have more clients than you know what to do with or more requests than you know what to do with, that means one of 2 things. It means, number one, if you are an insurance-based provider, it's time to get off some of those contracts. It's time to let some of those go. Notice I didn't say let all of them go, but it's time to let some of them go because you've got people out there who want to see you bad enough that they are not going to care whether you're on their insurance or not. When you have that kind of demand, you are ready to begin making that shift if you have an insurance-based practice. If you have a self-pay based practice, and depending upon what kind of work you do, that may be the case, and you got too many referrals and more requests for your time than you know what to do with, it means it's time to raise your rates. Too much demand is telling you something. It's feedback. Either let go of some of the insurance contracts and or raise your rates. That's what that means. And what that, I won't go down that rabbit hole right now because you know we're going to talk about that a lot here on this program, but I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's what you do. Get off the insurance, at least one or two of them, and or begin raising your rates because that's what it means when you have more calls for your service than you know what to do with. And then the final strategy, number 7, the last thing I want to suggest as a way to cope when you just don't know what to do is to find a way to shift from offering one-on-one services to one-on-many services. That means offering a group, teaching a class, developing a workshop, perhaps an online course, any of those ways of serving. And there's lots of those, y'all. There's lots of those. But if you have that many people who want to work with you, I would be looking for patterns in those calls. I would be looking for patterns in the folks that you're seeing. Is there a particular type of problem that seems to be coming up a lot? Do you find yourself saying the same thing over and over and over again in session after session after session? If so, it's probably time to come up with a way to teach that as a class, a course, a group, a workshop, an online program of some sort. There's lots of benefits to that, not the least of which is service. There's lots of ways to help. Okay? So let me review those 7 strategies that I just went through. And I know I did this very quickly. We could talk about each one of these for an hour, but I want to get these out here because I want to get the juices flowing. And I want you to know you don't have to be drowning and you don't have to be dodging those phone calls, either one. You can take care of yourself. You can actually make your practice healthier and you can still take care of those people. So 7 strategies. Number 1, get super clear. Go back and revisit, rethink, re-examine who your ideal client is now. Who do you want to work with and why? Number 2, get really clear about what you love doing, what you're good at, what you want to do, the way you want to work with people. Okay? Number 3, admit what you don't like too. Sometimes that will make number 1 and 2 easier if you start there. Well, I don't know what I do like, but I can sure tell you what I don't like. Okay, that's fine. Start with that. And give yourself permission to only accept referrals that fit properly inside those 3 things. Number 4, remember to focus on service. Everything comes back to service. This too is part of your role as a healer and your role as a business owner. Make a list of people to refer to and be ready to send those folks who are not right for you any longer to those that they are perfect for. They will love you. They will thank you. They will love you and they will thank you. Trust me. I've seen this literally 1,000 times. Number 5, use an online scheduling tool and get out of the scheduling conversation altogether. Completely set your boundaries up inside that tool so that you no longer have to feel bad by telling people no. You'll be amazed at what a difference that makes, y'all. Number 6, get off of insurance if that's what you are on, or begin getting off. Choose a couple of contracts to let go of and or raise your rates. It's time. And number 7, find a way to shift out of the one-on-one service to one-to-many. So many beautiful aspects to that. There you go. All right. So which one of those are you going to do? Choose one of them. The first 3 kind of fit together if you want to do all that together. The first 3 and then 4, honestly. But if you want a little tip, I'll tell you, out of all of these things, the very first, like the low-hanging fruit here, y'all, is to shift to online scheduling and get out of the scheduling conversation altogether. Of all the different things I can tell you to do, that's the easiest, the quickest, the most effective, and the one that's going to feel better to you the fastest. All right? So try this and stop avoiding those phone calls. Stop avoiding, because that's not serving. And stop taking on people you don't want to see. That's not serving either. There is a third way. There is a third option. That's what we're talking about here. This is part of your growth as a business owner. And I think this is how you take care of people the right way, in a healthy way. All right? All right. I hope I've made myself clear. I can feel that tone in my voice. Let me know which one of these you're going to choose. Post it on Facebook or send me an email. Let me know which one of these you're going to start with. All right? And how it goes. And guys, it's great that you got a lot of referrals. It means that there's plenty of business out there for you. It means that there's lots of opportunities for you to help. Just do it in a way that's good for them and good for you. Okay? Okay. All right. That's what I got for you today. Have a great week, everybody. And I will see you next time. Bye now. What if you could stop worrying about getting enough clients, keeping enough clients, and getting paid by those clients? What if you could stop worrying about money much at all because you just knew that what you needed would always be there? Here's the thing, y'all. We all get stressed out, especially about money, and it's really easy to slip into a mindset that focuses on worry and lack. But the hard truth is, when that's where your mind is, self-sabotage isn't far behind. On the other hand, when you come back to center, tap into trust, and cultivate a mindset of abundance, it's amazing how things change. I swear sometimes it feels like magic. This is a 31-day mindset reset where you'll get a daily dose of short lessons, sweet stories that offer positive energy and practice strategies. Each one takes less than 5 minutes and is designed to help you completely shift your relationship to money in your practice, and for that matter, in your life. Y'all, this is totally self-paced. There's no rush. You can read or listen to the lessons that fit what you need on any given day. And you get lifetime access to any future versions I may launch as well. That's why your one-time investment for Mind Over Money is forever. And it's only $197. What would it take for you to recoup that cost in your practice? 1 session? Maybe 2? On the other hand, what would it be worth to you to feel better about money and to reconnect with that, that inner sense of well-being that is your natural state? Personally, at the risk of sounding like a cliche, I kind of think that's priceless. So if you're tired of worrying, if you're ready to develop a lighter, loving relationship to money, go to wendypittsreeves.com/mind. Again, that's wendypittsreeves.com/mind. All you have to do is click on the button to register, make your payment, and you can get started right away. I'd love to see you there.